In 1887, deep in the pine forests of Wexford County, Michigan, two lumberjacks spotted what they thought was a stray dog. They watched it for a moment, then it did something impossible. It stood up, on two legs, 7 feet tall. What they saw had the torso of a man, but the head of a dog, glowing amber eyes locked onto them. Then it let out a sound, not a bark, not a growl, a scream that sounded horrifyingly human. The lumberjacks ran. But that encounter? It started something that wouldn't stop, because according to legend, the Dogman returns every 10 years on years, ending in 1887, 1897, 1997, and in 1987, when a radio DJ played a song about it as an April Fool's joke, over 100 people called in claiming they'd seen it too. This isn't just folklore. People are still reporting encounters, still finding tracks, still hearing that scream echoing through the Michigan woods. So what really happened in those forests in 1887? And why does this legend refuse to die? Stay with me, because what I found will change everything you thought you knew about this creature.
It's early June, 1887. There's a logging camp near the Manistee River in Wexford County. No name, just pine trees, mud, and men who knew how to work. 11 lumberjacks. These weren't city boys playing woodsmen. These were guys who'd seen bears, wolves, wildcats. They didn't scare easy. That morning near the Garland Swamp, they spot something. Looks like a stray dog. Maybe someone's lost pet from a nearby camp. They're in a good mood, probably laughing. They start chasing it. The thing bolts and dives into a hollow log. Now here's where it gets weird. A logger named Johnson grabs a stick, starts poking around inside the log, trying to get the dog out. And then it lets out this scream. Not a bark, not a growl, a scream like a human being. The thing comes charging out and stands up, on two legs. Dead silence. 7 feet tall, maybe more. It's got the head of a dog, but the torso of a man. Eyes glowing blue or amber, staring right at them. Nobody moves. And that scream, that howl, it sounds exactly like a human scream. Then it's gone, just vanishes back into the trees. Here's the thing, those men, they never talked about what happened, not really. They packed up their stuff that same night and left camp, just disappeared. They were never heard from again. Think about that. 11 grown men, experienced loggers, they see something in those woods and they abandon everything. What could make men like that just run? What could terrify experienced woodsmen so badly they'd never speak of it again? Whatever it wasn't done with Michigan, not even close. So what did those lumberjacks actually see? Here's the problem. It wasn't a wolf. Wolves don't stand 7 feet tall. They don't have human torsos, and they definitely don't scream like people. It wasn't a man. No man's got a dog's head and glowing eyes that cut through the dark. Here's where this whole thing gets really strange. Because the 1887 encounter, that wasn't a one-time thing. 10 years later, 1897, a farmer near Buckley is found dead, slumped over his plow, heart stopped, and all around his body, massive dog tracks, everywhere. Then 1907, an old widow starts talking about dogs circling her house at night, but these aren't normal dogs. They're walking upright, and they're screaming. A sheriff finds a wagon on the side of the road. No driver, just 4 horses dead, eyes wide open, frozen in terror. The vet who examined them said it looked like they'd literally died of fright. Paris, Michigan. A guy named Robert Fortney gets attacked by a pack of wild dogs, but one of them, it stands up, on 2 legs, stares him down, doesn't run when he fires his gun into the air. Claw marks on a church door, deep gouges. The newspaper estimated whatever made them had to be over 7 feet tall. Hippies camping in the woods wake up to scratching at their window. They look out and there it is, grinning at them. You see the pattern. Every single sighting, years ending in 7. It wasn't random, it was returning. Like clockwork, like something waking up on a schedule. Nobody knows why, nobody knows how, but the pattern's too consistent to ignore. It's like the creature knew, like it had a rhythm, a cycle. And every time it came back, it made sure someone saw it. Not a lot of people, just enough. Just enough to keep the story alive, to keep people wondering, to keep them afraid. The question is, what happens next? Because if the pattern holds, it's coming back. And every time it returns, someone sees it. And it sure wasn't explainable by anything they knew. These guys lived in the woods. They'd seen every animal Michigan had to offer: bears, wildcats, coyotes. This was something else. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The forests around the Manistee River, they've got stories way older than 1887. The Odawa people, the native tribes who lived in that region for centuries, they had their own legends. Stories passed down through generations about wolf-like spirits, shapeshifters, guardian beings that walked the boundary between human and animal. Some believed it was a spirit watching over the forest, a protector. Others thought it was something ancient, something that'd been there long before settlers ever showed up, long before anyone chopped down a single tree or built a single camp. Maybe it was warning them. Maybe it was just existing, doing what it had always done. The truth is, nobody really knows, but people try to make sense of it. They always do. Was it folklore? Was it real? Was it some kind of creature science hasn't discovered yet? All we know is what happened next. Because here's the strangest part. It didn't disappear. That 1887 encounter, that wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. 10 years later, it happened again, and then again, and again. Always in Michigan, always in the woods, always on years ending in 7. By the time the 1930s roll around, this thing's not hiding anymore. One Paris, Michigan, Robert Fortney's out near his property when he gets attacked by a pack of wild dogs, 5 of them circling him, snarling. But then one of them stops, stands up, on 2 legs, stares him dead in the eyes. Not like a dog, like it's thinking, like it's deciding what to do with him. Fortney fires his gun in the air. The thing doesn't flinch, just keeps staring. Then it drops back down on all 4s and the pack disappears into the trees. One different place, different person. A guy's fishing along the Muskegon River. It's quiet, peaceful. Then he hears something behind him. Turns around and there it is, standing upright, glaring at him, not growling, not moving, just watching. He doesn't wait to find out what happens next. He runs. Fast forward to the 1950s. Allegan County. More reports start coming in. People see something in the woods, something tall, something that doesn't move like an animal. One Big Rapids. A night watchman at a manufacturing plant thinks he sees an intruder, pulls his gun, gets ready to confront whoever it is. Then he realizes it's not a person. It's got a dog's head, standing like a man, moving with purpose. He's got a camera on him, so instead of shooting, he takes a picture. That photo's still debated today. Real, fake, nobody knows for sure. One Manistee and Cross Village. Multiple witnesses, different locations, same story. A creature walking upright through the woods, eyes glowing, howling like a human scream. Here's what's wild about all this. Different people, different decades, same description. 7 feet tall, dog's head, human body, glowing eyes, walks on 2 legs, screams like a person. You can't coordinate that across decades. These people didn't know each other. Most of them didn't even know the legend existed yet. But they all saw the same thing. A creature that shouldn't exist, but keeps appearing. Not in one place, not to one type of person. Lumberjacks, farmers, fishermen, night watchmen, regular people just living their lives. And every single time someone sees it, it does the same thing. It stands up, it stares, it screams. And then it vanishes back into the woods. Like it's reminding people it's still here, still watching, still waiting. The question nobody could answer was simple. What is it, and why won't it go away? April 1st, 1987, Traverse City, Michigan. Steve Cook's sitting in the studio at WTCM-FM. He's a disc jockey, loves folklore, loves myths, and he's got an April Fool's joke ready to go. He'd written a song, called it The Legend. It's about a creature he made up, half man, half dog, walking through the woods, appearing every 10 years, in years ending in 7. He recorded it on a cheap Casio keyboard, spoke the lyrics in this deep, gravelly voice, made it sound creepy on purpose. He didn't believe any of it. He just wanted to create Michigan's own Bigfoot, something fun, something local. So they played it twice that morning. And at first, nothing. No calls, no reactions, just silence. Cook figured the joke didn't land. Whatever, moving on. But then, about an hour later, the phone starts ringing. A man calls in, says he heard the song, and he needs to talk to Steve. Cook gets on the line. And what the guy tells him makes the hair on his neck stand up. The man says he saw it in 1937, 50 years ago. He was fishing along the Michigan River. A pack of dogs came out of the woods, circled him, and one of them stood up. Looked him dead in the eyes. He'd never told anyone, not his wife, not his kids, nobody. He'd buried that memory for 50 years. But when he heard that song, he knew. Someone else had seen it too. Cook stunned, he didn't expect this. But the calls don't stop. Over the next few weeks, the phone keeps ringing. People from all over Michigan, different towns, different decades, all claiming they'd seen the same thing. Over 100 reports, different witnesses, different stories, same creature. 7 feet tall, dog's head, human body walking upright, screaming like a person. The song becomes the most requested track on the station. People want to hear it again and again. Cook starts selling cassette tapes, $4 each, donates all the money to animal shelters. And the legend explodes. What started as a joke accidentally exposed something real. Because here's the thing, Cook made up the song, he made up the 10-year cycle, he made up the creature. But he didn't make up the sightings. Those were real. People had been seeing this thing for decades. They just didn't have a name for it. Until Steve Cook gave them one. The Dogman. And now everybody knew. Here's your 400-word script on modern encounters. Fast forward to the 1990s. The sightings don't stop, they get closer. December 1993, Ottawa County. A guy we'll call Ben pulls into his parents' driveway on Lakewood Drive. It's late, he's tired, he gets out of the car. And there it is. Standing at the end of the driveway. 7 feet tall, covered in dark fur, just staring at him. Not growling, not moving, just watching. Ben freezes, his brain's trying to process what he's seeing, and then the thing turns, drops onto all fours and bolts into the woods. Gone. Ben sees it 2 more times, same driveway, same behavior, it just stands there, watching. One same area, different person. A driver's heading home on a foggy night, hits something, hard, thinks it's a deer. Gets out to check the damage. There's gray fur stuck in the grill, but no body, no blood, no sign of what he hit. He looks around, nothing. Whatever it was, it got up and walked away. 1A couple's driving back from the store, middle of the day, not even dark yet. Something crosses the road in front of them, on all fours, massive, 3 times the size of a normal dog. They watch it clear the road, and then it stands up. Walks across the bean field, on 2 legs. They'd seen it before, a few years earlier, eating out of their dog's bowl under the floodlights behind their house. Their 140-pound German Shepherd didn't even react, just sat there, like it knew not to mess with it. The thing had this oily smell, like wet fur mixed with something wrong. They called the sheriff. He told them to shoot it on sight. But here's what's terrifying about these modern encounters. It doesn't chase, it doesn't attack. It watches. People see it standing at the edge of their driveway, behind their car, near their backyard, in the woods just off the road. And it doesn't move, just stares. Like it's studying them, like it's deciding something. And when it stands still, that's when people get the most scared. Because when an animal charges at you, you know what to do. Run, fight, react. But when something that big, that impossible, just stands there watching you, you realize it's not afraid of you. It's curious. And that's so much worse. Because it means it's thinking. By this point, the story stops feeling like a simple sighting and starts becoming something harder to explain. Because here's the problem. If it were just one encounter back in 1887, you could dismiss it. A trick of the light, exhaustion, fear playing games in the dark. But it didn't stop there. Decades passed and the descriptions didn't change. A towering figure, a canine face, standing like a man. That kind of consistency forces a question people don't like asking. What if it's real? Some believe the Michigan Dogman could be an undiscovered species, something that evolved deep in the forests, avoiding human contact, only appearing when something disturbs its territory. It sounds unlikely, but then again, nature has surprised us before. Others take a different view. They say it's not out there at all, it's in here. A psychological phenomenon, the human brain trying to make sense of shadows, isolation, and fear. When you're alone in the woods long enough, your mind starts filling in the blanks. Then there's the idea that it's something older than either of those explanations, a legend that grew over time, a story passed from person to person, slowly shaping what people think they see. Fear, refining itself across generations. But there's one more theory, the one people don't usually say out loud. That it isn't an animal. And it isn't imagination. That it's something else entirely. Because when completely different people across different decades describe the same impossible thing in the same places, with the same details, at some point, you have to stop asking if something is there and start asking why it keeps showing up. For over a century, people have reported the same thing. In the same forests, different voices, different years, same description. A creature that shouldn't exist, but somehow does, just out of reach, just out of proof. And maybe that's what makes it worse. Because whatever it is, it doesn't leave tracks that last. It doesn't stay long enough to be studied. It doesn't behave like something trying to survive. It behaves like something that already belongs there. Like it knows those woods better than we ever could. And every time someone sees it, really sees it, they all say the same thing. It wasn't just passing through. It was watching, waiting, not hunting, not hiding. Just there, as if the forest itself was aware and had taken a shape. So the real question is the Dogman real? Why does it only appear at certain times? Why the same places, the same patterns, the same silence before and after? And the question no one ever asks twice. What happens on the years when no one survives to report it? Because maybe it doesn't come back. Maybe it never left.